Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. I hope everybody's having a great day. I ended up changing the falling money that everybody had been watching. I don't have a lot of these programmed in, but I know a lot of people didn't really like the falling money because they said it made them get a little dizzy and stuff. So I actually put a different one up. And this I've had already programmed in for a while. So I ended up switching it to that for the time being until I can get my IT person to help me out and put a couple new ones on. But I got a great video for you guys today. I really think this background is kind of fitting. And the reason for that is a lot of people had asked that the video that we did yesterday, it did so good. It was the Venezuelan video on really breaking down what happens during a currency collapse, or even a currency revaluation or a hyperinflation. And a lot of people still had a few questions, but I wanted to angle it a little different today and still talk about that again on what exactly happens if you're buying silver and essentially someone else ain't. Maybe you've watched these videos for a while and you're like, I don't really believe in this. Or you're watching this for the first time and you're like, silver is not really going to do anything major. I want to show you today on a different level why you know that's going to happen and how you know it is going to come. Almost like a proof that we're eventually going to see what Venezuela's seen. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, like in Venezuela, it didn't happen overnight. But there were people in Venezuela that got told that this was happening, and they kind of laughed at it. They just thought it was a joke. They thought the person was tinfoil hat, and then all of a sudden they got wiped out and lost everything. And the people that were buying precious metals or buying other assets really didn't feel that same pain. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. If you guys enjoy the video, I ask that you do hit that thumbs up button for me. Help me out. If you hear my dogs crunching in the background, it's because I just got some tail and cooked it up, made some oxtail soup. We had a nice cold front come in. And I think it's kind of fitting also because right off the bat, one of the things that we're going to look at is actually the price of beef. And so I think it's actually interesting that here we are talking about tail. Now, I know some people out there are joking right now because when I first said it right now, I just thought in my head, man, that doesn't sound right. I just got some tail. But I think it's interesting, the price of beef, and that's why I kind of want to bring it up a little bit. Okay, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts, even if it's just a good morning or a thumbs up emoji. It helps out the algorithm. It makes it easy too on me because if it's something small, I don't have a whole lot to reply back to. I try to reply back to everything, and I know sometimes that can be a little bit difficult to catch all the comments, but I really like the comments because it helps with the algorithm. So right off the bat, I want to show you guys the price of beef. And this is the price of beef from 2006 to 2023. And you can see that it is gradually going up. And everybody thinks that, some people think it's the farmers, some people think that it's just getting more expensive because of droughts, because of this, because of restrictions, because of whatever. There's a million excuses. But the truth of the matter is, everything is getting more expensive because the US dollar is going down. And it may not just be the US dollar. It could be any currency that you use, because every currency in the world now that I know of is fiat currency. It means they're printing it out of thin air. They're not using a commodity that will go up at the same time as everything else going up. They're using paper. It really has no value. When you really hold up a US dollar, it really has no value. It's just a sheet of paper. And when you look at prices of everything, they're all going up. Price of beef has gone up. The price of oil has gone up. The price of copper has gone up. Silver. I mean, we look at the silver chart literally every day almost. Here we got silver at $29.79, and you can see it has gradually gone up. Now, have there been some exceptions where it way overshot? Of course it did. But this is because, all of a sudden when it gets in and starts going up, mentality, I know some people want to say, oh, it's the Hunt brothers. I've done videos on that. I'm not entirely a believer that it's the Hunt brothers as much as it is inflation, a recession, people getting scared. And then as the price goes up, all of a sudden, everybody out there is like, oh, my word, I wish I had got into silver in this case, but maybe it's Bitcoin, maybe it's whatever. They all want to jump in after it's had that climb, and they push it even higher to where it overshoots what it should be, and it comes down really sharp. So you see this type of things. And the same thing can happen when something is oversold. You know, when it's oversold and it's way up here, the price can come down really fast, because look how quick it came up. When you really look at this chart, 78, 79, and boom, a year, and it had gone up that much. So when you see that, you got to understand anything goes up that fast, there's got to be a reason for it. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean if the currency is collapsing, it's going to go up quick, because a lot of people are going to be pouring money in to try to essentially find a way to preserve their wealth that they've already got. We're going to talk more about that here in a few minutes. But you can see that it did gradually climb. And anybody that says, oh, I lost money, you have to look at the prices that it's at now and think about what they're saying. They are saying that they happen to buy on the most unlucky day of the year, of the century, of the forever. I mean, when you really look at it, there's not much buying that happens when it's all the way up here. There's a lot more selling that's happening. That's what's driving it down. That's why it came down so quick. Taking a quick look too, because we started talking about the beef prices. This is a zoomed in. This is a more recent, essentially, over the last year of the price of beefs. And what you see is you see a gradual climb, but you see these jumps all of a sudden where it has big spikes, and then it comes down, but it doesn't come back down where it was. And then you see another jump, and it continues to climb. And maybe you see a little bit of a pullback, and then you see another jump. You know, when you see stuff like this, you have to understand that people complain about these high prices when it spikes all the way up here. And then when it comes down, some people realize the price didn't go back down where it was, but they can say, oh, yeah, but it's coming back down. And you see this more and more now. When you talk about inflation to people, I've actually heard people say, yeah, the prices are up, but they're not as high as they were. Oh, great. So for a month, we were just totally getting burned, and now they come down a little bit, but they're not coming back down to where we were. And those days are over. Cheap gas prices, cheap beef prices, all that. And the truth of the matter is everything is going up. And the reason is that everything is going up is because we are overproducing money. We are printing more and more money. And a lot of people wonder, well, when is it going to end? When will this system end and the dollar will do whatever it's going to do, collapse? The truth of the matter is a lot of people around the world, individuals that don't have the huge education of economics, maybe, I'll take like the Russian government, the Chinese government, the Bank of China. They understand that the U.S. is printing money like crazy. And when people look that don't really have a whole lot of knowledge and they see that the U.S. dollar is doing well compared to their currency, just like a comment that came in this morning about how the Canadian loon is 140 to $1 US, 1.4 to $1 US. People don't always understand. They think that the dollar would have been a safe haven asset, and they think that inflation is in their country. Just like a lot of us think the inflation is really bad here because a lot of people are dumping the dollar. Maybe they think that. Maybe they just think that we're overprinting with socialist programs. And the truth of the matter is we are overprinting and people are dumping the dollar. But you have to understand that this is happening everywhere. And even though someone might be dumping the dollar, the big money, the bulk of the money, like the Bank of China, they're dumping dollars and they're buying tangible stuff. They're building ports. Someone was telling me that they built a port in Panama already or down that way, and that way they can kind of take control of the Panama Canal. And that's one of the reasons why Trump is trying to get it right now. But what's important to take from this is the big money is buying assets. They're buying stuff that they're going to get something long term. If the dollar did collapse, they're going to be okay. But the average everyday people are just holding dollars. They think, oh, if I hold a dollar, it's better than my currency and I'll be all right. So what Venezuela experienced that we talked about in yesterday's video, and if you didn't watch that video, definitely go back and check it. You have to understand, these people think that if they had been in US dollars, they would have been okay. We didn't experience it as bad yet. But the truth of the matter is, when we experience it, the world is going to feel it. And why are they going to feel it? They're going to feel it because a lot of them are holding dollars. I was watching a video yesterday, and a lady in Venezuela, because I was doing a lot of research on this topic, and a lady in Venezuela in the video, she wanted the dollars. If she had the opportunity, even though the ratio is only 50 or 60 bolivar for $1, even if the bill came up to 75 bolivar, she would rather have $1 US than 75 bolivar, because they've already been burned so many times and they think that the dollars are safe. Now, those of you guys watching this video, you realize the dollars are not safe, that you realize that gold and silver is safe. And the truth of the matter is, as the dollar goes down, we'll say by 2.5% or whatever number you want to plug, you can put any number in, you can expect that every product out there is going to go up by that same percentage or similar. Now, you might have a 2% inflation or devaluing of the dollar, and oranges go up by 5%. Now, how did that happen? Well, maybe there was a drought took out, or a freeze that took out some of the orange crops, and that costed a 3% increase on top of the 2% increase. And so you see these prices of everything that we buy just continuing to go up. And I think people need to really take some time to understand. So before I wrap up the video, I want to show you something real quick. Let me get a calculator here so you guys can actually see. Oh, that's calendar. Nope, I don't want to see a calendar. I want to see a calculator. I clicked it a little too quick. So real quick, let's say you're sitting on, you and another subscriber, or I don't know, any way you want to put it. One person watching this video has $10,000 in his bank account. And he watches this video and he says, that T-Square talk, he's a tinfoil hat nut job. He actually thinks the dollar's going to collapse, because I hear it all the time in the comments. He's sitting on $10,000 in the bank. $10,000 that he worked hard for. But one day, well, actually, let me paint the other picture too. I'm sitting, let's say, on $10,000 in silver. Maybe I'm watching this video for the first time and I said, you know what, I want to buy some silver. I'm going to buy it at 30 bucks an ounce, we'll say, hypothetically. Boom. So now you have one person sitting on $10,000, one person sitting on 333 ounces of silver. If I were to sell this right now, I might get my 10 grand back. I might lose a couple dollars. You know how people are, they buy something. Oh, I can go buy it off someone else for $30. So if you want to sell it to me, I only want to give you $29 or whatever the case may be. But fast forward a month down the line, a week down the line, a year down the line. I don't know. Maybe Trump comes in office in a week and says, you know what, we're just going to devalue the currency for national security. It's not going to be hard. We're just going to devalue the currency. A 10-to-1 ratio. It's not much. Your $10 bill becomes $1. Your $100 bill becomes $10. So we're going to jump over here real quick to the guy that held his $10,000. He's holding $10,000. They do a decline, a 10-to-1 revaluation of the dollar. He is now sitting on $1,000. The guy that bought silver, that was sitting on silver, he was sitting on 333 ounces of silver. 0.3333, but we're going to do easy math here. All of a sudden, silver, people are like, what? How's silver still 30 bucks? What happened? Maybe it even tricks down a little bit to 28 or something. All of a sudden, he's still got, if he converts this back over Even if he takes a small hit and he only gets $29 a piece, let's multiply this out now by 29 bucks. Let's even say the guy got greedy and he only has one person to sell to, and the guy said, you know what? Yeah, spot price might be 30, but I don't have much money now. And ever since they revalued the currency, I'll give you 28 bucks for it. Okay. He all of a sudden converts that silver at $28 in new money. He's now sitting on $9,300. Now, did he take a loss? Yes, you could say he lost $675, or you could say, no, he made a killing. Because the other guy that was holding dollars, he's down to $1,000. He has to go to work, and yeah, his work will probably pay him in new fiat dollars, new whatever they decide to name it, new Fed notes, whatever. And all he really lost was his savings. And that's exactly what a revaluation of the currency does. It targets the people with savings accounts. It puts everybody a little more even. You know, it puts more people, it compacts them in, I don't want to say a broke category, but essentially it does put them a little more broker. It forces old people to figure out, what am I going to do now? I lost all my savings. It got devalued. And government will come out and say, oh, but that's okay. You'll still get your Social Security. And your Social Security is going to be in new dollars. Did the government lose anything? No, the government didn't lose anything. They just strengthened their dollars. So they're now getting their currency in new bills, and everybody that had a savings just lost the bulk of their savings. How many people have a savings today when you really think about it? The majority of society is in debt. They owe more than they have. They would be hit, I guess you can say, the hardest. Anybody that's had a savings account would be hit. The average everyday young people would not be hit as hard because they don't have any currency saved unless you're a stacker. And then you still don't have currency. You have silver and gold. But here's the thing. The guy that had his $10,000 in silver now has $9,300 of new good purchasing power. And maybe he traded it all right there. And all of a sudden, they do what they did in Venezuela and hit him a double tap. Venezuela got hit like 5 or 6 times, back to back to back. And they did that because a lot of people did cash in their entire silver collection. And all of a sudden, they're feeling rich. Look at that. You got 93 when everybody else has been destroyed. Well, all of a sudden, they do it again to catch the people that dodged the first one. That's why I would never sell my entire stack. Unless I'm spending the money on something else, I wouldn't do it. So I hope this really gave people a good understanding on the way this is going to happen. It turned out a lot of people enjoyed that video because it had some numbers, it had some good diagrams, and I wanted to kind of touch base on it a little bit more. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know that, yeah, you enjoyed it. And, don't get fooled by this overprinting money. This money, when they print money, it costs a lot, and it costs you in the form of inflation. And all these fires going on over in California right now, they're not going to have the money to rebuild. They're not going to have the money to... We're going to see prices go up. Concrete, copper, everything. Because there are going to be people that will rebuild. Maybe they'll rebuild smart cities over there and I'll say low-income housing. I don't know. I don't know what the plan will be when this all settles out because it's still getting hit hard. But what I want you to take from this is your savings that's in silver or in an asset is going to do a lot better if the currency collapses. And there's no telling what is going to happen when the new administration comes in. They could come out swinging and try to beat up inflation by any means necessary. And they're not going to tell you they're going to do something before they do it. So don't think, oh, I'm going to have time to change and to flip my dollars to... No, because everybody would do it. The trick is nobody knows, and that's it. So with that being said, I thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button if you didn't already. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment, and I hope you all have a great week. Bye-bye.